Joining us to talk about that series and the Winnipeg Jets head coaching search, our good friend Jamie Thomas from CJOB 68 Radio in Winnipeg, where it is the offseason, but is it ever really the offseason, Jamie Thomas, in your world, man? How's things?
They are good, but not as good as it is for you, as I see that backdrop for your show today. I cannot compete with that. I'm a little jealous, but it has dried up here nicely. There was a lot of water here in Manitoba, as you know, and it's starting to get a little bit more sunshiny, but no comparison to the beach, that's for sure.
Yes. Hey, who'd have thought? Hockey town down here. And it looks like there's going to be some deep runs, hopefully for many springs to come between the Panthers and the Lightning. But I guess let's start with the Jets, if you don't mind, because everybody in Winnipeg clinging to their sets right now, wanting to know what is the latest on the head coaching search. We hear Barry Trotz wants to take his time. Do the Winnipeg Jets want to take their time with regards to announcing their next head coach? What's going on there?
I'm sure it would be a situation where you want sooner rather than later, Rod. But with a guy like Barry Trotz, who has, let's say, multiple options as the best free agent coach out there, in my opinion, I think you understand why he'd want to take his time. And there's some pretty good suitors out there outside of the province of Manitoba. That's no offense to the team that I cover and have been around for the last 5 seasons. But there's Philadelphia is a nice landing spot. Vegas is pretty competitive. Those types of options. So I think the Jets are doing their due diligence. Barry Trotz is doing his due diligence. But there are a lot of good coaching candidates out there, and I understand why people are so excited, because you don't get a coach like this every day on the free agent market, and in the name of Barry Trotz. But Scott Arniel is a great option. Pascal Vincent, of course, who was an assistant here for a long time, and did a great job with the Manitoba Moose in the American Hockey League, the Jets minor league affiliate. I go down the list of the candidates that are out there. But you want the right fit, and I think both sides want to take their time. But I'm sure, going back to Barry Trotz, fans are so excited about it. Could he be back in his home province? We've seen the wizardry he's done in Nashville, with Washington, with the Islanders, and with the Jets, trying to improve on the defensive side of things. He's that right guy in that department. But that is no slight whatsoever to any of the other coaching candidates that could be a Winnipeg Jet here in the next month or so.
Jamie, you've been around the game and sports a real long time. You'll understand when I ask this question. A lot of our viewers won't know what I mean, but is this an attractive job? Because people are going to say, well, it's the NHL, of course it's attractive. But is this an attractive team? Do you know what I mean? If Trotzy had his pick of teams, is this a team you'd want to step in there? Because let's be honest, it wasn't that great to Paul Maurice at the end, nor Dave Lowry, obviously.
Obviously, yeah. And I you know what? Like, if we go back to the offseason last year, this team was being talked about as a Stanley Cup playoff favorite. In the conversation possibly for a Stanley Cup. I still think this is a very attractive situation for a team. They're not going to rebuild. I know there's that conversation after the Jets didn't make the playoffs, got to blow it up. That would be absolutely insane. Kyle Connor just wins the Lady Byng Trophy, scored 47 goals this year. Nikolai Ehlers missed 19 games, the knee injury. He had one of his best seasons ever. He's on the up and up right now. So, and then Pierre-Luc Dubois. Clearly there's contract discussions to be had with him. I just think there's too many valuable pieces and assets for the Winnipeg Jets to be looked at upon as otherwise not being. This is an attractive team to coach if you want to win right now. They just need a little push. Connor Hellebuck had an off year for his standards. That's not, in my opinion, going to happen again. You have a solid blue line. You have a lot of depth going back to the American Hockey League on the blue line for the Jets. So to me, this is an attractive destination if you want to win right now, and I believe lots of coaches look at it as such.
I tell you what, though, man, it is an interesting market, too. There's a lot of fake news coming out of there. I got that. I thought they already hired Trotz a few weeks ago. Turns out that was wrong. And now I hear that there's news on Scheifele that it's confirmed that he'll be a Jet next year. Is that a fact? What are you hearing on that?
I think Kevin Cheveldayoff's ears are open on this one. It would be crazy not to think about anything else. Like, listen to what other teams have to say. Listen, Mark Scheifele is a possible 100-point player. He's a point-per-game player in the National Hockey League at the most important position at center ice. So is it difficult to think of getting rid of number 55? I would think so. but I don't think the door is closed on any avenues of possibly moving him. Is it a bad idea to keep him? Absolutely not. He's a great player. Just had a challenging year like many players did in 2021-22. So I don't think Mark Scheifele is the only player that would look at this year and go that it was a success from start to finish. And now, of course, Scheifele had COVID at the beginning and admitted to that it took him a while to get his legs underneath him. Said he didn't start feeling right until about Christmas, and that kind of you look back at things. That's when he started playing a little bit better. So I don't think the door is closed in either way. But would it be disappointing to see Mark Scheifele back in a Jets jersey to start in September? Absolutely not. A great centerman. Clearly, if Barry Trotz is, any coach that comes in here would love to see 55 up the middle on the top line when camp breaks in September.
Of course, and I apologize to fire all these questions at you, but I've been waiting to chat with you, and I value your opinion. And
you
and I don't know if you ever,
right? You have to ask these questions.
Yes,
you have to ask these questions.
Yeah, exactly.
It is a big conversation piece here right now, and when teams don't make the playoffs, hard questions have to be asked. That is flat out what's going to happen, and the rumors are churning like crazy that Mark Scheifele will not be a Winnipeg Jet. A lot of questions came after his his last media availability here in Winnipeg. So we are all scrutinizing everything somebody says. That's the job that we have. That is the business that we are in. Fans are scrutinizing what Mark Scheifele is saying, what the team is saying. So I can understand why these questions are going to be asked. They're challenging questions, but there's no doubt that people are going to ask. If it's not you, it's going to be somebody else, Rod.
Yeah, and again, I know that I wouldn't ask if I didn't think you could handle it very well. And we got about 90 seconds to 2 minutes, and I got to ask you this about Kyle Connor. I watched the Jets games. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he won the Lady Bing last night. Who cares? That's not the Hart. That's not the Art Ross. I see a guy that does not backcheck to the degree that I'd like to see. I see Austin Matthews backchecking. I see Connor McDavid backchecking. Gretzky didn't, but Kyle Connor's not Wayne Gretzky. I feel that he could give more. There's a lot of guys in that room that could give more, but I get Jets fans on my back when I say that. They love this guy. Mm-hmm. But I feel everybody could give more on that team. So where are you on Kyle Connor's play?
Well, playing defense is hard, flat out. It's not, especially for a skilled player, it's not the first thing in their top of mind. Having said that, Kyle Connor, 200-foot game has improved year over year. And that is a big reason why he was given the Lady Bing trophy. He is so good at getting in behind players, coming on the back check and picking, lifting their stick and taking the puck away. That is because he has worked hard in that aspect of his game. He's also worked, his speed is there. So the fact that he didn't take that many penalty minutes while working on the defensive side of his game says how good he is on the back check right now. I think there's room to grow in that aspect for anybody, especially after the way the Jets defended on the last part of last year. But I think Kyle Connor is getting a lot better in his own end of the rink as his National Hockey League career grows.
Well, I appreciate that, and you're either going forwards in life or going backwards in life, and if he's getting better, then that's really all we can ask. Yeah. Jamie, we are out of time. If you get an off season, enjoy whatever that is for you. Hopefully we can bring you back on this summer and talk more.
Yeah, I look forward to that, Rod. Thanks for having me on, my friend.
Jamie Thomas, the radio color voice of the Winnipeg Jets from CJOB 68. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of the Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.